With Wolfpack fans wondering what Will Wade will do next, he went and put on the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. Fine, I'll do it myself.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Wolfpack Nation? It's time to get locked in with Locked On. Thanks for making Locked On Wolfpack your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Our Thursday show is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $250 back in bonus bets if that first pesky $5 bet wins. Head on over to FanDuel.com in order to get started today. Happy Thursday to all. As always, I'm Grayson Boone, joined by former Wolfpack defensive tackle Kenton Gibbs. Kenton, as we all understand, the transfer portal window for college basketball here in the spring, it closed on Wednesday at midnight. But what happened right before that deadline that we discovered on Thursday? Louisville center James Scott entered his name into the transfer portal. And here's where that becomes significant. One, he's from Fayetteville, which is in close proximity to us here in Raleigh. And we've seen a lot of hometown players want to come back home. And sometimes they play closer to family, this, that, and the other. But right after that news had broke, what you saw from Louisville fans was that, yeah, Scott entered the portal because Will Wade came through with a strong-ass offer and got him to enter the portal in the 11th hour. So, Kenton, Will Wade said, fine, if I can't get front court commitments here, I'm going to go out and do it myself. I'm going to recruit off of active rosters, and Louisville has just become suddenly a victim of the American gangster. James Scott is a 6'11 center for the Louisville Cardinals. He's been a Pat Kelsey guy. He started his career at Charleston with Pat Kelsey and then made the jump out to Kentucky for his sophomore season with the Louisville Cardinals this past year. There's certainly a lot to like about James Scott, but surface level, Kenton, what does this mean? James Scott hitting the portal in the 11th hour due to Will Wade. Are we going to see something happen here?
Hey, I fully resent both what you, Grayson Boone, and these Louisville fans are insinuating. Because what you are insinuating is tampering, and that's illegal. And we play by the rules here at NC State. So again, I fully resent what you're saying. Hey, Mr. Scott's looking for a new opportunity. He's looking for greener pastures. What greener pastures look like for him? I don't know. I don't know why he's looking for greener pastures. I don't know. I mean, he was the starter at Louisville, correct?
Correct. He was a starter.
Okay. He's not looking for more minutes, but maybe he was looking for more opportunities to score the ball. Who knows? He could be looking to be closer to home because who doesn't want mom, dad, granny, granddad, uncle, cousin, sister, brother to see him play without having to take a couple-hour trip out somewhere every time? I'm just saying there's a lot. And let's be honest. Maybe he thought Louisville wasn't paying him enough. And in America, as in the words of one of the greatest fighting promoters in the world, only in America, okay? You can go and make more money as a college kid if you don't feel, by the way, that was a joke. We all know that wasn't actually Don King. That was the guy imitating Don King in Rocky. But we know if he wants to go make more money and feels like he could elsewhere, I don't see the problem with that. So, I resent the idea that Will Wade has done something wrong, illegal, immoral here. I believe that this young man jumped in the portal looking for a bigger check, a better payday, happier path, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that he's looking for any specific thing. I'm saying he's just looking for a better situation for whatever works for him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy. We will welcome him with open arms. We will welcome him with an open front court. We will welcome him with an open Lenovo Center. We welcome you, brother. Come on in.
If it's a change of scenery that Scott is looking for, we got one of those to sell here for you right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So James Scott, he was the starting center for Louisville this past year. He averaged 7 points and 6 boards per game on 75% field goal percentage. You're thinking to yourself, what in the world? How could that be so high? He's a dunk specialist. You heard of Dunk City way back in whatever year that was, like 2013 with Florida Gulf Coast. This guy has somehow become the second iteration of Dunk City. All he does is dunk. And one of my most consistent complaints as a 5'11 white kid that wasn't that great at basketball growing up, I could play good defense and I could hit the three, couldn't give you much outside of that. But something that I've always wondered about is these guys that are 6'11 and 7 foot, how do you not essentially dunk or try to dunk every time you have the ball down on the block, you're in the paint, you have an opportunity to either dunk it or get fouled doing so? I always remember with Omer Yurtseven, I thought he played just too soft at the rim, and there were so many opportunities. I'm like, dude, you're 7 foot. Throw that sucker in there. Like, there's no reason to play so soft, and you can get fouled in the process. I had some similar complaints with a guy like Ben Middlebrooks as well. I would not have those complaints with a guy like James Scott. He's going to dunk you through the hoop if you happen to be in his way when he goes up with it. This is like a dream for 5'11 Grayson to have a player that is so fearless in the dunk spot to play for NC State. And you think about having a point guard like Trey Holloman who specializes in throwing the lob. It's like a match made in heaven if you're picking up what I'm putting down here. So you also have the vacancy that we all know about in the NC State front court. Still have yet to land a big find. This feels like exactly what we've kind of been waiting on pins and needles to hear about. James Scott coming to Raleigh. He's great at rebounding. He finishes at the rim. He's a good rim protector. He's an excellent defender just in the paint in general. That solves a lot of open boxes that you're looking to check off here in a short amount of time. And last thing here before I kick it back to you, Kenton, I don't think that James Scott would enter the portal unless this had a very legitimate chance of following through. Again, he's a starter at Louisville, so it's not exactly like he's looking for more minutes like you said. Maybe the NIL is not what he wants at Louisville, but the way that they've been throwing Benjamins around, I find that hard to believe. I think they're probably pretty deep over there in Kentucky with their bourbon money. This feels like Will Wade has put together what is a strong behind offer, and James Scott has certainly become interested. Can this one get to the finish line in the coming days?
Hey, listen, I'd love to see him get to the finish line in the coming days, but again, I don't believe that Will Wade has done anything illegal here. I don't think he's done anything to tell anybody that he's poaching players here. I believe that Will Wade is a man that, again, very forthcoming and contrite about his previous indiscretions. And I think he's following the rules now. And I think that we, by playing by the rules, are going to land one of the best centers in the country, especially in terms of dunking. Hey, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I really and truly think that every time you think about when NC State has been really, really good, we've had a center that was spectacular. We've had a big that was like, oh my God, this guy, primetime TV, you've got to turn on the TV and watch every time he's on. I think this is no different.
And yes, Will Wade is not doing anything illegal. The only reason that people take that and run with it is because he was previously in trouble during his time at LSU. This is no different than any of the other big programs are doing with guys in the portal. When you see these high-level players into the transfer portal and they slap a do not contact tag, sometimes it is because they want to funnel the communications through their agent. A lot of times it's because they already know where they're going. Wonder why? Because there's been communications going on behind the scenes. They just want to pin something on Will Wade because of his past. He's not doing anything wrong. He's well within the bounds of the rules, and this would be a great get for NC State at this point in the cycle. Second name I want to bring up related to the front court, I did reference him yesterday, but it is Colt Langdon. He was a freshman this year at Butler. He's a Raleigh kid, actually the all-time leading scorer at Millbrook High School in just 3 years. Only 3 years because he reclassified in 2024 and went to Butler a year early. Didn't end up playing at Butler, has now entered the transfer portal, and NC State has been very quickly connected with him. I'll make this short and sweet. I think this makes all the sense in the world. It's a local kid, played very, very well at a high school just down the street, so you know what he's capable of. And he's probably nothing more than a depth piece, but that's fine because you need depth pieces. You need a lot of depth in the front court because as of right now, you only have Zamichael Wilkins. So not only do you need starters, but you need depth to come in behind those starters. And I think Colt Langdon makes a ton of sense. He's a 6'7" power forward, very skilled in the paint, can shoot it a little bit from the inside and the outside. If absolutely nothing else, if it's only for depth, I think he makes completely all the sense in the world. And that's another one I think that one will probably happen here pretty quickly. I've already seen some crystal balls being sent out. I wouldn't be surprised if you see that one get finalized here in the next hours. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen on Thursday, Friday, but I think that one is most likely to be a done deal here very shortly.
I mean, hey, you and I both know when guys get in that situation of bringing home hometown guys and all that, it tends to work out well. It really has, especially for NC State. You look at DJ Horn coming back and the impact it had on this team. I'm not saying that he's that right away. Obviously, DJ Horn was a much more proven product who showed his scoring prowess across a bunch of different conferences at a bunch of different schools. But this could be a kid that, this homecoming could be a special one.
Coming up next, we're going to switch gears into some football portal talk. The college football spring portal will close on Friday. Should we expect any more, I guess you could say, surprises from NC State football? More on this after a quick word from our sponsors. Our first Thursday sponsor is FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are now here, and FanDuel is giving new customers incredible ways to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you can get up to $250 back in bonus bets if your $5 bet wins. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many different ways to bet all of your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine those live prop bets into a same-game parlay for the chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head on over to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today, only on FanDuel. Middle portion of our Thursday show, switching gears into college football transfer portal talk. Obviously, we've spoken about Kendrick Raphael. We spoke about Dakari Collins, Kamal Bonner as late as this week. The spring portal for football will close here on Friday, the 25th. Kenton, will start here and kind of venture off. Do you expect any more surprises for NC State? I don't think Collins or Raphael were necessarily surprised. Bonner was a lot more of a surprise, but here as we get into the 11th hour of the football portal, are you worried about NC State facing any more losses?
I mean, in the new reality of college football, you can never be too safe. You can never feel like, nobody's leaving or anything like that. But I will say, as long as we don't see any really big impact guys go, I think we're good here. I mean, I've had some people hit me up like, oh, what's going on with all these guys leaving state? And the reality is, this isn't a situation where they're all leaving for the same reason. And this isn't a situation where, with all due respect, these guys were going to have massive impacts on team success next year. So it's, they want to go somewhere where they can do that. More power to them. More power to them. It's, again, that numbers game kind of works out in that way sometimes where there's only so many targets available. There's only so many carries available. There's only so many of things available. And in terms of your defenders, I mean, hey, I get it. If you think there's greener pastures, better opportunity elsewhere. Same thing I said for Mr. Scott from Louisville, I'll say for our players. Hey, if you believe that there are greener pastures for you elsewhere, by all means, go pursue those greener pastures. I just don't think we have a ton of guys that are in that position right now to where there are greener pastures. And even for the ones who are in that position, I think that they call Raleigh home.
The last time we had a portal window closing for football, we saw the exodus, the very quick exodus of three defensive backs right there up against that midnight deadline. It kind of crushed the depth there of the DBs. Is there another position group that, if another exodus were to happen, would worry you the most?
Oh, would worry me the most? If any of those defensive linemen or linebackers decide to get in the portal, I'm out of eligibility, okay? But
Kenton Gibbs ain't walking through those doors.
But, Sudanese transfer student Genton Gibbs may make an appearance.
I heard about that guy.
I heard he's a pretty good three-tech guy. I heard he's all right. But in all seriousness, I would be deeply worried if either one of those positions had a mess. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's any position I would feel good about if that were the case right now.
Sure.
I really don't. I don't think this team is in a position to where you can lose that type of talent. You know what I mean? Like at any position, right? For the quarterback position, if CJ Bailey or any of his backups were to leave, will we be a little bit more shaky? Absolutely. If at the running back position, we see a miniature version of what Cal had, where every single guy that was on scholarship darn near said, hey, see ya, wouldn't want to be here, y'all be safe. Grayson and I would just be on the next episode crying, shaking, and throwing up for 30 minutes straight like Jamie Foxx and Ray. You all know the scene. And if our wide receiver core was to do that, it's the same. That's the group that we were suspecting, saying, hey, this is going to be our best group. I mean, Grayson would immediately burst out in tears after he went to FanDuel and bet on the under for wins. But you get the point here. I don't think that we have any position group where we can afford what we saw of our DBs in the December portal to do that here.
What am I, some kind of degenerate to you? No, but when you do look at Cal football losing, what was it, 5 running backs in like 24 hours, don't think it can't happen to you, because it can most certainly happen to NC State. It happened in much a smaller fashion with the 3 defensive backs we lost in the winter portal. But no, I'm with you. Very clearly, anything else on the defensive side of the ball is just going to continue to raise some eyebrows. But if we were to lose something on the offensive side of the ball, quarterback speaks for itself. I think the whole season you could just punt on it if CJ Bailey were to leave, but that's not going to happen. If you were to lose another running back, I mean, you're only really looking at Hollywood Smothers, Duke Scott, or maybe DeAndre Desenor. One of those 3 would hurt very bad at this point in the cycle. I think the same could be said about the wide receiving room. As deep as it is, if you were to lose someone like a Noah Rogers or a Wesley Grimes or a Terrell Anderson, you would feel that. Again, I don't expect any of that to happen, but don't think it can't happen to you, because that is the new world of college football. But yeah, back to the actual point, defensive side of the ball. If you lose anybody else that you are projecting to contribute here in 2025, it would sting in a very large fashion, because there's a lot of work to still be done here in a positive manner in the portal. There's still some gaps to fill. You're going to need some more depth in the linebacking room and certainly up front. Oh, yeah. I had this take after the ECU game with Davin Van moving on, and unfortunately I still have it here in late April. I don't know if you have like an A1 day 1 pass rusher on this team. If you do, I don't think they've really separated themselves from the pack. I think maybe Brandon Cleveland would be the most logical answer, maybe Trevally Price, but are they Davin Van? No, nobody really is. So the defensive line and the linebacking room, those are 2 rooms that need massive overworking over the course of the summer, and it's not a situation where you can afford to lose really anything else. So I guess now I'll ask the inverse of this, and it's probably a very obvious answer. If there's one room that you can help to shore up here in the next couple days, what would you take?
One room is interesting. I think there are a couple positions that I would shore up for sure. But if I had to say a room, give me defensive line. I think the defensive line is good, but I think that we could, like you said, that bookend, that top end, hey, this guy he's going to strike some fear in the hearts of quarterbacks. You need that guy, period. You need that guy. And with all due respect to Brandon Cleveland, he is an interior rusher. Yeah. It is tougher. It is a lot easier to double guys on the interior than it is guys out wide. Excuse me. If you're doubling a guy out wide, you have to either fully slide an entire protection to him, or you have to leave somebody in the chip. If you leave somebody in the chip, what does that then do? It delays what their route looks like. It delays their ability to get open, so it gives everybody else more time to get home. A defensive tackle will never have that same luxury. It will never be as difficult to get to a defensive tackle. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. So I'd say get us some elite edge talent. You know what I mean? I've heard that Bo Atkinson is going to be Jack Sawyer's replacement, and you know, guys like him don't necessarily grow on trees. But if you can find someone closer, similar to that level of production and physicality, by all means, go for it.
Yeah, to your point, I'll be interested to see how often DJ Elliott goes to a 4-man front, because if you don't have a guy like Davin Van, and at points you struggle to provide quarterback pressure with a 3-man front and Davin Van, now you take him out of the equation. You got to get creative. You might have to look at having 2 interior defensive linemen with some edge rushers on the end, because you've got to find creative ways to get disruptive. You cannot afford to let the quarterback, whoever it is, whoever we're playing against, sit back and get surgical on us, because I don't feel great about where we are currently as we stand defensively. So defense far and away is the most important side of the ball that needs to be shored up here in the coming weeks. But with the portal window closing here on Friday, can't help but tense up just one more last time here before you get into finalizing your roster here in the next couple weeks. And coming up next, Pac-9 baseball begins their series with number 2 ranked Clemson on Thursday night. I'll say it again, it's time to pack the doke. More on this after a quick word from our sponsors. Our second Thursday sponsor is Amazon Fire TV. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? You can turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with the Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller and subscribe or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included. And just like that, you're ready to play. You can dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6. You can easily stream your favorite shows as well. It's made gaming simple, and it's also on your Amazon Fire TV. With 4K streaming, you can watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and so much more. You can play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. If you already have a console, a Fire TV Stick 4K device is not only more affordable, but it's also easier to travel with. Head on over to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller is required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, and Fire TV Cube. Head on over to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On today in order to get started. Last couple minutes of our Thursday show. I'm back again, cutting my daily promo for the Pac-9. The weekend series with the Clemson Tigers, who are number 2 in the country, begins tonight. Pack the doke. You didn't get to see NC State play on Tuesday night, but as time continues to be a blur, here we are on Thursday, and it's time for baseball yet again. We spoke earlier this week about what this series means to NC State, especially their hosting chances. If you want to be a national seed when it's all said and done here in a couple weeks, a series like this one at home are the types that you have to win. And Clemson, again, they're one of the best teams, not just in the ACC, but in the country. Their pitching staff is really what powers them to so much success this year. Aiden Kanak is going to be the starter for Thursday night. He's been dominant in the ACC, one of the best starting pitchers in the conference. But what I noticed out of Kanak last week is he's beatable, just like everyone else is as well. Louisville tagged him for 5 runs, and even though Louisville didn't win that game this past Thursday, they gave Clemson a run for their money. And I say all that to say NC State's formula here on Thursday needs to be the very same. You have to be able to chase Aiden Kanak early in this game before they bridge the gap to a guy like Lucas Malstead, who's the best closer in the conference. If NC State's going to win this game, they got to score early, they got to score often, and Rom-Com Dom's going to have to put on the show.
He's the second best closer in the conference. I still think the dude abides. He may have struggled early in the season, but he is coming back in a major way. I really and truly believe, like you said, Louisville tagged him up. I don't think that our bats are as big as Louisville's. I just don't think we have that. But what we can do, play small ball, play very smart. Don't make any errors in base running as we've had in the past. We are a team that, again, our pitching staff can do their damn thing too. When Rom-Com Dom is rolling at his highest clip, give me any lineup in the country, and I think that brother mows him down. So, with that being said, I'm really and truly saying the bats need to show up in a meaningful way. But again, be disciplined. Be disciplined. Don't go chasing everything that you see thrown your way. Just get on base. Just do the little things. You don't need to. Hey, we don't have some of the power that we had last year. A-Mac ain't walking through that door. Pennington ain't walking through that door. We'd love to have them back. They aren't walking through that door. So stay within yourself. Play within yourself. And do what you know how to do. Because, again, this game ain't going to be about, hey, State hit 12 long balls off. That's just not the type of team we have. This is instead going to be a game where it's much more about, again, did we execute on the little things, which I believe we can surely do.
Yeah, the benefit with Clemson is they're really not that much of an offensive firepower either, but they are very disciplined. They play a very clean ball game. And so NC State, inversely, they're going to have to try and beat Clemson at their own game. You cannot afford the mental mistakes, the fielding errors, the base running errors. You have to be who you are all the way through. Their pitching staff is good, but they're beatable. NC State will have to string together multiple quality at-bats and be disciplined. Don't be the guy that's too proud to take a walk in a game like this, because it could wind up being the difference. But this should be one of the top series, not just in the ACC, but the country. This is a highly contested series of 2 very good teams, for 2 teams that are very hot right now as well. And so right back to the fan portion of this, pack the doke. Make this an atmosphere that gives the Pac-9 the difference on a Thursday night. And not just Thursday, but the whole weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Shout out Raleigh's Red again. He even went as far as to tweet what the ticket prices are per day. He's doing everything he can to get y'all in the building just like we are. So pack the doke if you are able. It should be a fantastic weekend of Wolfpack baseball. What more could you ask for? The number 2 team in the country coming to Raleigh, and NC State has potential hosting implications on the line. Looking forward to a great one. That will do it for us here on Thursday. As always, thank you all so much for joining us. Be sure to hit that like button. Drop your comments in the comment box. Tell us your thoughts on Louisville center James Scott entering the portal, possibly with connection to Will Wade, maybe pushing some buttons behind the scenes. Let us know your thoughts on the Butler forward Colt Langdon, who's a Raleigh kid right down the street from Millbrook High. I would imagine that becomes a done deal here probably very soon. Any other names you want to float out with potential connections to NC State, feel free to do so. Let us know your thoughts on the football transfer portal front. Are you worried about any other position groups getting depleted? Any more needs you see on either side of the ball? Let us know on that. And anything else you have on your mind, drop that in the comment box as well. Mash that subscribe button. We'll see you right back here tomorrow on Friday for more. And until then, go Pack.
Go Pack.